What if reality is not something you simply experience, but something your brain quietly predicts before it happens? For decades, scientists believed healing came from medicine alone, until an experiment revealed something impossible. Patients began improving, even when no real treatment existed. Pain faded, symptoms changed, and the deeper researchers looked, the more unsettling the truth became. Because the discovery was never just about medicine, it was about perception and the hidden power shaping what we believe is real. Doctors cured real pain using pills that contained absolutely nothing. In a clinical trial, patients were given medication for chronic pain, except some of them received fake pills. No active drug, no hidden ingredient, just sugar. Researchers expected nothing to happen. No chemistry, no treatment, no results. But something strange started happening. Patients began reporting real relief. Pain levels dropped. Movement improved. Brain scans showed physical changes. Doctors realized this wasn't imagination. Something inside the brain was responding as if the medicine were real. And when researchers finally understood why it was happening, they almost stopped the experiment entirely. Doctors expected fake pills to do nothing, but patients weren't just saying they felt better. Their physical bodies were actually changing. Pain signals in the brain began to decrease. Stress responses dropped. Some patients even showed improved physical movement. This wasn't supposed to happen, because without real medicine, there should be no biological effect. So researchers started asking a dangerous question. What if belief alone could trigger real healing? They ran more tests. Different hospitals, different patients, different conditions, and the same impossible pattern kept appearing. The brain was reacting as if the treatment were real. But when one group of scientists looked deeper into the data, they discovered something that made the results far more disturbing. Researchers expected placebo results to fade quickly, but some patients kept improving. Days turned into weeks, and the relief didn't disappear. This created a serious problem, because if fake treatment worked this well, what did that say about real medicine? Scientists began scanning the patients' brains during treatment. What they saw changed everything. Areas linked to pain actually reduced activity. Natural chemicals associated with relief started releasing. The brain was manufacturing its own medicine, without any drug entering the body. But then researchers tested something even more dangerous. They removed the illusion completely, and what happened next shocked everyone in the room. Scientists wanted to know what would happen if the illusion disappeared. So they told some patients the truth. They explained that the pills contained no active medicine. They received placebos. Those researchers expected the healing to stop immediately. But something unbelievable happened. Many patients continued improving anyway, even after learning that treatment was fake. This broke one of medicine's biggest assumptions, because belief was supposed to be required. Yet the brain kept responding. Pain signals continued to drop. Recovery continued. Doctors began asking a terrifying question. If the brain could heal without belief, what else was controlling the outcome? And the next experiment pushed ethical boundaries further than anyone expected. Researchers decided to test something controversial. They introduced negative expectations. Some patients were warned that side effects might occur, even though the treatment contained no real drug. And suddenly, new symptoms began appearing. Headaches, nausea, increased discomfort. The body reacted as if something harmful had been taken, but nothing had changed except belief. This phenomenon became known as the nocebo effect, the dark mirror of placebo medicine. It showed that expectation could not only heal, it could also cause harm. And what scientists discovered next made them question how much control the brain really has over reality. Scientists began searching for the hidden mechanism behind the effect. If belief alone could change the body, then something inside the brain had to be activating real biological systems. Brain scans revealed a surprising pattern. Specific regions linked to expectation and reward became highly active. The brain wasn't pretending to heal. It was releasing real chemicals, natural painkillers, hormonal signals. Neurological responses normally triggered by real medicine. In other words, the brain was manufacturing its own treatment. But this discovery created a disturbing new question. If expectation could trigger healing, could someone unknowingly control another person's physical reality? Researchers began testing something even more unsettling. What if the patient wasn't the only person influencing the outcome? Doctors changed the way they spoke, subtle shifts in tone, small differences in body language, even the level of confidence in their voice. And the results started changing again. Patients treated by more confident doctors showed stronger improvement, even when receiving identical placebo pills. It wasn't just belief in the treatment, it was belief transferred through interaction. Expectation was spreading between people, almost like an invisible signal. This suggested something deeply uncomfortable. Healing might not come only from inside the patient, but from the environment surrounding them. And the next discovery revealed just how powerful that environment could be. Scientists started looking beyond medicine itself. They began studying the environment surrounding each patient. Lighting, room design, doctor uniforms, even the color of the pills, and something unexpected appeared. Patients responded more strongly when treatments looked more real. Larger pills worked better than smaller ones. Certain colors increased perceived effectiveness. Expensive-looking packaging improved outcomes. None of these changes affected chemistry, only perception. The brain wasn't just reacting to belief, it was reacting to context. Reality itself seemed shaped by subtle cues, which led researchers to a disturbing realization. If perception could be engineered, then outcomes could be influenced without anyone realizing it. As researchers pushed further, they began testing something even more subtle: expectation without direct communication. Patients were placed in identical environments, but small details were quietly altered. Different lighting, different room layouts, different levels of perceived professionalism. Without saying a word, outcomes began to shift. Patients in more clinical-looking spaces reported stronger improvement, even though nothing about the treatment had changed. The brain was responding to signals most people never consciously noticed. Perception wasn't passive, it was actively shaping physical experience. And this raised a disturbing possibility. If environment alone could influence healing, then how much of reality was being silently engineered around us? By now, researchers understood something was fundamentally different. Healing wasn't coming only from medicine. It wasn't even coming only from belief. It was emerging from perception itself. The brain constantly predicted outcomes before they happened. And those predictions began shaping physical responses. Pain could increase or decrease. Symptoms could appear or disappear, all based on expectation. This meant treatment was only one piece of a much larger system. The real driver might be the story the brain believes about reality. And if that was true, then doctors were not just giving medicine. They were shaping perception, which raised one final and unsettling question. If perception can be influenced, who decides what we believe is real? The deeper scientists looked, the more uncomfortable the conclusions became. If perception could shape physical outcomes, then every interaction carried hidden influence. A doctor's confidence, a therapist's tone, even the design of a hospital room. All of it could change how the brain predicted reality. This created a serious ethical problem. Should doctors intentionally shape perception to improve outcomes, or would that cross a line between treatment and manipulation? Because if belief can heal, then belief can also be engineered. And once perception becomes a tool, where do you draw the boundary between helping someone and controlling what they experience as real? The final part changes how we understand the mind itself. When the experiment finally ended, scientists reached a conclusion that changed how they understood healing. The brain was never just reacting to reality, it was constantly predicting it. Expectation shaped perception. Perception shaped biology, and biology shaped experience. Medicine was not only chemistry, it was context, environment, interaction, belief. The placebo effect was no longer seen as a fake treatment. It became evidence that the mind and body were inseparable systems. But the discovery left one question unanswered. If perception can change physical reality, how many parts of our daily lives are quietly shaped by expectations we never notice? Because the most powerful influence may not be what happens to us, but what we believe is about to happen next. The full story reveals everything.